Receiving a diagnosis of cancer or a serious chronic illness is a profoundly transformative experience. From that moment on, nothing will ever be the same again. A whirlwind of emotions is triggered that may include fear, disbelief, sadness, anguish, anger, or a mixture of all. Many people describe this moment as if the world stops for a moment and then begins to spin in another direction. The daily routine is interrupted by medical appointments, studies, treatments, and uncertainty about the future, about what is to come, creeps into daily consciousness. It is common and normal to feel overwhelmed during this initial stage. The mind seeks explanations. Questions are repeated, such as, why me? What did I do wrong? What is going to happen now? This search for meaning is not a sign of weakness, but a human response to the unexpected. A sense of loss of control may also appear. Some people may feel that they have ceased being who they were, as if their identity has fragmented between what they were and what they are now. Someone with an illness. It is important to know that all of these reactions are normal. There is no one right way to feel or deal with a diagnosis. What can make a difference is having the resources to treat and speak to oneself with more kindness. Understanding what one is experiencing emotionally is a first essential step. Every serious illness comes with a series of losses, abilities, routines, projects, roles. Sometimes it is not easy to recognize these losses because the emotional impact overwhelms us or because we feel we have no right to complain. But giving them space is important. Think about other situations in which you also faced loss. A move, the death of a loved one, the loss of a job, or a relationship. Think back to those moments. What did you do at that time to move on? What or who helps you? This kind of reflection can help you realize that you have been through other storms, and that although this situation is different, you can similarly find resources within. Nothing you've been through has been in vain. Even small gestures of resilience, like getting up every day, smiling, asking for help, have value. Recognizing that is also a way of respecting yourself. Take a moment to identify what has changed since the diagnosis. What things can you no longer do as you used to? What are the spaces or activities you miss the most? Importantly, is there anything you have discovered in this process? What relationships have been strengthened? Do you have a new outlook on life? To name what was lost is not to give up. It is to allow it to have a place so that we can make sense of it. Even when we can no longer change a situation, we can always choose the attitude with which we face it, said Viktor Frankl. Finding meaning and inner resources. Facing a serious illness is also facing a new way of being in the world. It is not a matter of resignation, nor of forcing oneself to see the positive all the time. Rather, it is an invitation to look at what hurts, what changes, and to ask oneself, how do I want to handle this situation I find myself in? Many people are surprised at the answers they find when they allow themselves to go through this question calmly. Sometimes, what gives life meaning are not the big goals, but the small things. Chatting with someone dear to us, being in the company of loved ones, taking care of a plant or pet, reading the morning sun. Covering what is precious that is still present is a way to take charge, even if it's in the midst of uncertainty. It can also be therapeutic to write a letter to someone significant, from the past or present, expressing what hasn't been said yet, or what you'd like that person to know. These kinds of actions have great restorative power and help you stay grounded. Deciding to take care of oneself is not selfishness. It is about reclaiming one's agency, one's right to choose, as much as possible, how you want to live this new stage. It may be the moment to put on hold demands that are no longer yours, prioritize what is good for you to allow yourself to be supported. To adapt, then, is not to conform. It is to discover new ways of being with yourself, with others, and with life, even in its fragility. Take a moment to pause and reflect. What is still valuable to me despite the disease? What small actions or links connect me to life? What legacy would I like to leave? Navigating emotions and reconnecting with the body. In this context, it is also natural that intense emotions arise: fear, sadness, anger, guilt. The goal is not to avoid them, but to learn how to deal with them. A useful strategy is emotional identification. You can dedicate a few minutes a day to ask yourself, what am I feeling now? Where do I notice it in my body? What name would I give to this emotion? Naming emotions diminishes their intensity and promotes awareness. In addition, sharing these emotions with someone you trust or in a therapeutic space can provide relief and support. The body, after becoming the place where the illness unfolds, may start to feel tense or distant for whoever is going through this, whether they are trying to make sense of the changes. That is why it is important to re-establish a caring relationship with the body, listening to it and the signals it sends. And that also means being able to talk to the body. You can take a moment to sit or lie down quietly and say aloud or silently how you feel. It may show gratitude for what it still allows you to do, but it's also valid to feel anger, disappointment, sadness. As in any important relationship, expressing what we feel, even if it hurts, can be the beginning of a reconciliation. Think of a close relationship in which there have been misunderstandings. If we just keep quiet or avoid what bothers us, the distance grows. But if we dare to say with respect, I was hurt by this, I missed you at the time, or even I don't understand why you acted that way, then something changes. Dialogue, even if it does not solve everything, allows a new beginning. The same goes for the body. Being able to say, I feel frustrated with you, or I find it hard to accept what we're going through, is a way to humanize the bond and open the door to greater understanding and acceptance. Brief exercises such as mindful body scanning help to reconnect with the body from compassion, not judgment. You can try, for example, when waking up or before going to sleep, spending a minute mentally going through each part of the body, without trying to change anything, just noticing the sensations present. This practice, simple and daily, favors acceptance and presence. Cultivating well-being and expanding perspective. It is also possible to include moments of positive emotional activation. Experiences such as the contemplation of nature, humor, art, or music have beneficial effects on mood. You don't have to wait until you feel good to indulge in these activities. On the contrary, they can be a bridge to wellness. You can ask yourself, what small activity brings me pleasure or relief? When was the last time I laughed heartedly? Could I incorporate this experience into my week? As you explore these small moments of connection and emotional nourishment, another dimension may naturally open up. The possibility of looking beyond yourself, not as a way of denying what you feel, but as a way of expanding your perspective and finding additional sources of meaning. At the most difficult times, it can be helpful to look beyond yourself. It's not about forgetting what you feel, but remembering that our existence is connected to something larger. Transcendence is not something abstract. It can be in the desire to leave a mark, in the way we accompany others, in the stories we share, in what we sow. It is that invisible bond that unites us with other people, with those we love, with those who will come. You can ask yourself, what part of me would I like others to remember? Is there something I would like to pass on? What ways do you have today to reinforce your legacy? Living with vulnerability and staying present. It is also important to validate the inevitable emotional roller coaster of dealing with disease. There will be days of greater energy and others when everything seems heavier. This vulnerability is part of the process. Instead of fighting the ups and downs, it is healthier to pace your internal rhythm. You can design an emotional first aid kit of sorts, including resources that you know do you good. A song, a reading excerpt, a meaningful image, mindful breathing. Having these tools at hand can make all the difference in the most difficult moments. Adapting to a serious illness does not mean giving up living a meaningful life. On the contrary, it can be an invitation to rediscover what is essential, to make more conscious choices, and to cultivate a more compassionate bond with oneself. Remember, you are not alone in this process. Seeking support, allowing yourself to feel, and making small but meaningful choices is a powerful form of care. Staying grounded in the present, guided by available resources and an open heart, is a profound act of courage and humanity.